Great cause.
Very good cause.
Oklahoma State down 2-0 against Baylor. Middle of the fourth coming up. Once again, Baylor has 5 hits on the day. OSU only able to get one. I guess that they were allowed to get more, they would get more, but they were only able to get one so far against the Bears. Castano is getting up there in the pitch count, though. Chappell was up, there was a bunch of foul balls, and all that does is add to it later in the game, add to the strategy, and more of that kind of a focus later.
He's thrown a lot of pitches, or threw a lot of pitches in the 3rd inning, and we'll see how long it takes before the Cowboys work into their bullpen and get their top pitcher out.
Donnie Walton up first for the Cowboys. First pitch is outside for a ball.
Walton is actually a switch hitter, so he's definitely very helpful to have in the lineup, kind of maybe more up, toward the top when the game is starting, because he can be a good asset depending on what pitchers they throw in there.
And there's a connection to shortstop. Justin Arrington able to make the play over to Mitch Price. 1 out.
Solid hit ball just right at Arrington.
Some of the Cowboys made contact today, just can't get quite enough contact on the ball to push further for those base hits.
Next up for the Pokes, Corey Hassel, the center fielder today. Hassel showing bunt, takes the strike. First at bat, Hassel struck out. Oh, 1 count. Once again, that one bounced for a ball. Castanos had a couple that have bounced relatively close to the plate today.
Yeah, he seems to be having a hard time working the bottom half of the zone, but so far his minimum is damage. Hit, 2 walks.
And that one gets by Dodson, ball 2. Two-one count. High, Hassel left off. 3-1 count.
Surprisingly slow start for the Cowboys again after losing their previous 4. Just 1 hit so far through 3 1/3.
Hassel swings away. Now the count is full. You mentioned the slow start for the Cowboys. Really, the 1st and the 3rd is where they found the most success. They've scored 41 runs in the 1st inning, as we mentioned earlier. And the 3rd, they've scored 34 runs. It's kind of down from there in the 20s. And then the 7th, they've scored 32 runs on the year. So really, they want to start strong, and not the case today. Full count pitch is swung at by Hassel. And he is out. 2 outs for the Cowboys.
Now batting for the Cowboys, the designated hitter, David Petrino.
Designated hitter David Petrino up for the Cowboys. 2 outs. Baylor leads 2-0. First pitch is swung at, shallow right, and it will drop for a single. Petrino liked the first pitch he saw and took it to shallow right.
Well, that's one of the first times this game so far that they've swung at the first pitch. We might want to start looking to do that a little more often.
Sometimes I know I get a little antsy if a player's going to swing at that first pitch, but that was a good read by Petrino. Liked it enough, just shallow enough to try to get some momentum going for the Cowboys here in the bottom of the fourth.
Just saw in the replay, he did a good job too with the outside pitch, just throwing his hands at it, not trying to pull it.
So Petrino successful, gets the second hit of the day. Brian Case takes the first pitch for a strike. Case fouled out in his first attempt. And the 0-1 count. Low for a ball.
It'll be real interesting to see if Case can get on base here. Arakawa was on deck. And if he gets up, Castano had a hard time pitching to him in his first at-bat. So he doesn't want to pitch to him with 2 runners on.
Swing foul, almost fair down the third base line. Hopped out just before the base. Count is now 1-2. Petrino, OSU's second hit so far on the day. Baylor has 5. And that one is low, bounces away. Petrino will take second. And that's one of the first times there's been a pitch low that Dodson wasn't able to keep in front of him. And luckily enough, it advances the runner for Oklahoma State.
That's right. He had the one earlier that got by Dodson on the high pitch, just glanced off his glove. But he's done a good job of digging balls out in the dirt, and that was the first time that he's let a low one get by him.
As you can see, just missed the glove, hit more of the forearm area for Dodson.
See if Case can take advantage here. He got a runner in scoring position. Can just get a base hit knocked through. See if the Cowboys can maybe get on the board.
2-2 for the pitcher, Brian Case. Hit to third base, and it is misplayed by Shepard. All runners are safe. Petrino advances to third, and Case is on for a single.
We'll see how they score that one. We mentioned earlier, Shepard has 15 errors on the season over there on third base.
And mark that 16. They have ruled it an error on Shepard.
Now batting for the Cowboys, second baseman, Tim Arakawa.
Just can't get his glove underneath it. Runner goes to third. 2 outs now for Arakawa.
Big chance here for...
Dukoff. We're saying Shepard. That's Dukoff at third.
Oh, you're right.
Dukoff at
You're
third.
right. Dukoff, the third baseman misplayed it, has the error charged to him. Shepard, no involvement in that play.
Shepard actually does not have an error this year, so ruling off by 16.
It's close.
Yeah, ballpark estimate.
Baylor will have a meeting at the mound. 2 outs, runners on the corners for Oklahoma State.
They're probably discussing how they want to pitch to Arakawa here. He walked him the first time. He does have a base open, not first, but there are 2 outs, so even if he does move a runner over to second, they still just need the 1 out to get out of the inning.
And that opens an out at any play, or at
That's
any
right.
plate.
So if a ball's hit the Dukoff again, he could just step on third instead of trying to make that long throw.
And we are set to resume play. Castano pitching for Baylor. Arakawa hitting for the Cowboys. First pitch is low. And another ball. Good stop by Dodson.
Doesn't want another one to get by him here.
It's okay if it bounces off and hits in front of you, just as long as nothing gets back to the backstop.
Just keep it in front of him.
The 1-0 count. Arakawa gets a bat on it, and it will be in play. Runner scores for the Cowboys. And now there's a misplay at the pitching mound, but that has no involvement.
Case thought about going to third on it. He got about 6 steps off a second because there was no one at second base covering him. Decided to turn around and go back.
As I mentioned earlier, the Cowboys love to work with 2 outs. I don't know if it's just kind of a mental thing that, the pressure's on, but they seem to do a really good job and really capitalize when there are 2 outs.
So Oklahoma State gets the first run on the board.
It's nice athleticism by Case too to kind of high step the ball through his legs and right.
Score is now 2-1 for Baylor. Baylor advantage. Oklahoma State 3 hits now on the day. Baylor still has 5. And up to the plate is John Littell. Pitches low for a ball.
With this pitch count going up, I'd make Castano keep throwing pitches till he throws a strike. Because he's shown he has control problems right now. He's thrown numerous pitches in the dirt in this inning alone. And he falls behind 1-0 to start this at-bat.
Littell, 13 RBIs on the season, trying to get another one here in the bottom of the 4th. Made contact on that one, but it's foul.
And that was outside. That was in the same spot as that first pitch. Should be, or could be 2-0.
1-1 for Littell, 2 outs. Runners on second and first. Littell gets a bat on a hit to the second baseman. Misplayed at first, and that will allow a run to score for the Cowboys. Littell advances to second, and Arakawa takes third. Cowboys tie the game up in the bottom of the 4th, 2-2.
It's another costly error by Baylor. Talked about it earlier, and it continues. The second error of the inning, and they're 57th on the season.
For the Cowboys in a game like this, that's just what you want. You just want to wear Baylor down and cause them to make these errors, because that was a relatively simple play that just got by the first baseman.
And that's frustrating for the pitcher as well, because now he's had 2 ground balls that should have been outs in this inning. And now he should have been out of the inning with the lead still 2-0. Instead, now it's tied 2-2, and he has to pitch to another lefty.
That lefty is first baseman Dustin Williams. Calls time. Arakawa at third, Littell at second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
Williams leads the team in home runs this year, so he has to be careful.
Check swing, and they will give him a strike. 0-1 count. 24 RBIs on the season for Dustin Williams. Foul to the backstop. 0-2. And this is where you have a situation where the runner at third base has the advantage on the pitcher, because now the left-handed pitcher has to turn the body around in order to get the pick off at third. Oh-2 count. Outside for a ball.
It's a good take on 0-2. It's a veteran take.
Two outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Swung away and missed. Dodson completes the out at first. And just like that, the Cowboys tie the game at 2. In the bottom of the 4th, we will go to the 5th here in a bit. But first, we have the answer to our trivia question that was mentioned earlier in the broadcast. That question, once again, how many former Cowboys went on to the Major League? Chris, what was yours?
I guess 11.
11?
7.
7, and I said 15. Let's find out what the answer is. It's 46.
6. Goes to show how much we know about it.
Well, see, if you multiply mine by 3, I'm just one off. So I was closest. I will take the victory on that. 15 times 3 equals 46, or 45.
40.
And then you add one
That's
for
why
the
we're medium
46.
majors.
Exactly.
Remainder 1, you have the derivative.
46 Cowboys
I guess
went
that-
on to play in the major leagues.
Guess that answer is fitting since Perrin's number is 46.
There you go.
We barely get halfway to that if you combine our guesses.
Yeah. Obviously, we undermined the program a little bit. People are starting to file to the more cooler seats, get out of the sun a little bit.
It's pretty toasty out there right now.
Yeah.
A lot of orange.
A lot of orange. It's good to see.
A lot of orange.
Good to see. It's nice to see this ballpark full.
It's a perfect thing to come out today, especially when you look at what the weather was supposed to be, projected to be, and then we have this. Couldn't ask for a better Saturday. In April, in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Who
Never
knows
know.
what could happen?
Exactly. You never know with Oklahoma weather.
What do you always say, Corbin? If you don't like Oklahoma weather,
Wait 5 minutes.
wait 5 minutes. That is exactly true. Logan Brown get things underway in the top of the 5th. First pitch in there for a strike. Brown 1 for 2 on the day. Ground out and a single. Here's a hit to the shortstop. And well played by the Cowboys. Donnie Walton hit that ball over to Dustin Williams for the out. 1 out on the board in the top of the 5th.
Now up for the Bears, second baseman, West Tunnel.
West Tunnel up to the plate next for Baylor.
Makes me wonder if there's a story behind his name.
West Tunnel?
West Tunnel. It's not a name you hear very often.
That's true. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Here's the second. Gets a bat on it, and it is foul. Right above the Cowboy dugout. Count is 1-1. Tunnel on the day, 0 for 2 with a flyout and a ground out. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
There's a really nice change up there by Perrin.
You kind of get the feeling that Oklahoma State is trying to get in that groove. They're kind of getting the momentum shift.
They need to remember who they are. I mean, they're a team that was just a week ago was in the top 10 of the country. Depending on what poll you look at, they were in the top 10 of the country. And they've dropped 4 straight. They need to get back to what they were doing before. It starts with their pitching.
Ball 2 to Tunnel. 2-2 count, 1 out. Ball game is tied at 2-2 in the top of the 5th. And there's another foul ball straight to the backstop. Tunnel doing a good job of staying alive here in this at-bat.
Baylor's held their own so far today. We talked about their slow offense for the most part this year, but
And there was no contact made, but the ball skipped past Brian Case, allowing the runner to go to first.
it's a deflating strikeout. Looks good on the stat sheet, but still has a runner on first from it.
That's one of those plays you really don't see very often either.
No.
Next up is Toth for the Bears. Perrin checks to first base. Making sure Tunnel remains in a safe spot.
It's 5 for 6 in steal attempts this year, so let's keep an eye on him.
That ball is in there for a strike. 0-1, top of the 5th.
It's a good speed pitch by Perrin, getting up into the 90s on that one.
Still got it here in the 5th inning. Still has some heat behind it.
And the 0-1 is in there for a strike. Count is now 0-2.
It's one of the few times today parents had a batter 0-2. So he might be getting into a groove right now. He had struck out the batter that's on first still, and right now he's looking at another strikeout.
Of course, that runner was able to advance on a drop third strike. Perrin checks tunnel. No play at first. 0-2, top of the fifth, 1 out for Baylor. Ball game is tied at 2. Perrin checks again. No play. And there's a called third strike.
It's a great job by Cage behind the plate with framing the plate, keeping a soft hand to get that called third strike. All 3 pitches on that at-bat were close borderline pitches, but Cage did a great job behind the plate. You see here on the replay, sets up just on the outside, has a nice smooth catch, doesn't move his hand, there's not a lot of movement at all anywhere. It makes it easy for the umpire to call that third strike.
Mitch Price now up for Baylor. We have a timeout. It looks like Donnie Walton started bleeding. Something hit him in the eye.
Yeah.
One of the two. That's what it looks
is
like
it a
from up
contact?
here.
It might be a contact, maybe.
He does wear
I think
glasses.
you're right.
Chappell being a good teammate there, helping him get that contact or whatever it is back in.
I think he just said it fell out.
And those of us who wear contacts, I wear contacts.
I do too.
That is a pain. Randomly, it can slide up into your eye. It's gross to talk about, but it happens. And then sometimes it falls out, and you don't. It's not safe to pick it up off the ground and put it back in your eye. It's not sanitary at all.
Especially in a sport like baseball where there's dirt everywhere.
Exactly.
And with the weather we've had today, and our grounds crew's done a great job getting the field prepped. But, you know, with that and allergies and everything it gets in your eye, it can definitely be a hazard and just really aggravating.
So kind of an odd subject to talk about at a baseball game. I know I didn't come into the day thinking I was going to talk about contact lenses, but
yeah, malfunction. And I don't wear glasses or contacts, so I can't speak. This is all on you guys.
you have that crystal clear vision,
I do.
Chris.
2020?
I'm better than that.
Oh, he's bragging now.
Better than 2020. I can read that very bottom line on the chart.
I definitely can't.
Walton once again getting checked out by the trainer.
Speaking of having good trainers, Walton had a wrist injury we mentioned previously in the game. He had an injury in what is called the haymate bone that can be removed from surgery. He injured it pretty early in the season when they went out to Arizona for a series against Arizona State in a little Big 12 Pac-12 challenge. And he had to sit out, for a couple of weeks, and he had to sit for about a month. It's just a basic injury for sports that use rackets like golf, tennis, and especially baseball. His trainers did a good job getting him into surgery, getting him rehabbed, and getting him back out there because he is so essential to this team.
And obviously that injury, if you want to call it, a lot less severe than an injury to the haymate bone. You could tell they had the bottle of contact solution, so he is ready to play. And we are ready to get back to baseball. Once again, Mitch Price up to bat for the Bears. First pitch is a ball. Runner attempts to steal, and Arakawa misplays it. Ball trickles to center. Tunnel slides in safely at second.
And you wonder if that delay took John Perrin's kind of attention away from the runner over at first. First pitch he was running. He gets his 6th stolen base of the season.
Tunnel advances to second on the steal. 1-0 count to Mitch Price. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. In a tied at 2 game. There's contact to right, and it is foul. Oklahoma State kind of has a very tight corner over there, right?
Yeah, that wall comes up to the foul line really quick.
Not a lot of chances to play it along either foul lines if you're looking at going deep.
Definitely have to pay attention so you don't run into the wall.
Definitely. Especially there at right where the wall is so short. Once again, contact is made by Price over to left. And Gage Green able to make the catch. So Oklahoma State does a good job playing defense. Tie ball game at 2-2. We will be right back here on O State TV.